Alright, who's ready to see the brand new room? Been working on this for a bit here, and now it's finally time. I never really showed the old room, but here is the new one. Here's how the new one looks. Here's where the entertainment center was. Here's where some of the seating is, my computer area, and then this bed area. So, right here, entertainment center before, I had entertainment center that went all the way up to the ceiling practically, okay? Like probably like a foot away from the ceiling. It was practically, like taller than I am, okay? So it was separated into 3 different parts. So there was 1, 2, 3. And the 2 end pieces were pretty much reached the height of the ceiling, and the one in the center went like halfway up. So my TV was limited in the center to 26 inches. So the TV's been upgraded. There's also a sound bar here as well. And instead of a sound system, before I had a audio receiver and I had speakers up on top of the entertainment center, 1, 2, 3. I had the subwoofer over behind there, which now it's there. And then I had 2 surround speakers, one here and one there. Now it's just a sound bar. And honestly, this was a downgrade. It was an expensive downgrade because both these things are a Sony brand. I usually don't buy any other brand, but it's a Sony brand. And the sound system is supposed to simulate what it sounds like if you had I think a 7.1.2 surround sound system, despite the fact that this one right here is only a 3.1, okay? So there's 3 speakers, left and right and a center, and then the subwoofer. Okay, it doesn't do that. It doesn't do that. I mean, it tries to do it by applying like all this EQ to make it sound like things are like on the side of you and behind you, and no, all it does is just kind of mess up the audio. So I just leave it on, there's 3 different kinds of modes you can have it. Right here. 3 different kinds of modes. Standard, cinema, and music. Standard and cinema, they sound identical, as well as if you put on the immersive AE, they sound identical. The music mode is what actually sounds accurate and what it should be. So, yeah, it's just it's a bit disappointing, obviously. It really is. To have this thing, not be quite what I want it to be, but, it's just how it is. Because the old sound system, because it was a Pro Logic 2 sound system, which basically, it could turn any stereo source. So if you're watching like old stuff, it could turn a stereo source into surround sound. And it did a very good job, and it did not sound artificial. All the modes on this one, it just sounds artificial. So the music mode keeps it normal, but it doesn't do a Pro Logic 2 type of thing. So it's not going to give you like the dialogue in the center channel. It's just going to give you the dialogue on the left and the right of the audio source. If you listen to the stereo, that everything's just going to come out of the left and right instead of the center. Unless you're listening to the surround sound, then it'll come through the center. So it's kind of like, kind of annoying. And the TV, I'll get to that in just a moment here. But yeah, the chair's new. The desk is new here. Well, not the desk. The table's new. 3-tier table and a fat rat raised down on it. The bed is not new, but this is all new. The colors of this probably need to be painted, maybe, changed a bit. And then the rug is new as well. So all that is new. So the TV, what's really interesting about the TV is that it has like this cool, interesting effect on it. And I'm going to bring up like a test sample video to actually show you here. So if you're familiar with any sort of frame rates, a lot of TVs, are like 60 hertz, 60 frames per second. So it's going to show you like, that's how like video games are. Okay. Now, with movies, they're 24 frames per second. So what ends up happening is if 24 does not go into 60, so a 60 hertz display, like most TVs are, 24 frames per second does not go into 60. So what ends up happening is if you're watching a movie and it's like panning, you will see a little bit of like a stutter, for a little bit, okay? Now, if you're watching 24 frames per second on a 120 hertz TV, which is what this is, you know, it'll still be the same frame rate, but it won't have that, you know, stutter. It will just be, you know, consistent with its stutter. You know, it won't be like, it'll be more like, okay? Well, there's something called motion flow, which I'm sure if you have any sort of 4K TV or any sort of high-res TV like this, it's going to have that option. And usually it's on by default. And it's essentially to create 24 frames per second into 60 frames per second. There's multiple settings here. I just pulled up a 24 frames per second test. I'm going to go into the picture mode here. It's under motion. So I have it set to like just 1 because I don't like it too much, but maybe a little bit. So if I set it to off, I don't know how well this is going to pick up in my camera. Obviously, I'm recording at 60 frames per second, but let's just see here. So I'm going to play it. See if, like, watch something here. See if you can pick up like a little choppiness going. Okay. Again, this is 60 frames per second, so it's not really going to matter on YouTube, but the minimum amount will smooth it out a little bit. But let's see how well this will pick up at 60 frames per second, okay? So here we go. I don't know if you noticed that difference there, but so off, on. Yeah, I can kind of see it through the lens of my camera, but again, you know, it's going to be kind of hard because you're not able to see this in person yourself. It is an impressive difference. It smooths it out. But the problem, if you're watching a movie, everything is going to look like so smooth. It's not going to look like a movie anymore. It's not. Instead, it's going to look, it's called the soap opera effect. It's just going to look like super smooth, like that. And maybe that's how you want it to look, but that's not how it's intended to look. So what usually I do, if I just turn it on just a little bit, you know, you can either keep it at the minimum, which will make it not too stuttery, or just keep it at 1, which makes it a little smoother, but not like that type of smooth. Okay, so a lot of TVs have that option. It's called something different for each one, but yep, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much everything here. So hopefully you enjoyed it. It looks nice. You know, I know people wanted a room tour. Yeah, here's all my stuff in here. There's the little animals. There's I got two rows of DVDs there, plus the rest behind there. So I'll just do like I think I've already shown those, but I'll do like a quick pan. I don't know how to increase the brightness, but it's too dark. Why the heck is it so dark? But there you go. You just look really quickly, and behind them you cannot see, but that is it. So you take care, and bye-bye at 24 frames per second.